Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another Find Your Mojo prompt. So today Leah is starting with a grid. She's using a Mercy Tiara prompt for today to use a grid to kind of find your mojo and get that design flowing. Today I am using Mercy Tiara's prompt to do a monochromatic layout. I haven't done a monochromatic layout in a while, but I always find them really fun. I love this because you can pick a color and just go into your stash and pull in everything you have of that color and really create a dimensional page with lots of different textures and shades of the same color. So you could look at your photo and find a color that's predominant in your photo and kind of just really go all at it that way. Or you don't even have to look at your photo. You can look at an embellishment you've been wanting to use and whatever color that is, just roll with it and pull in everything that color to really be able to base a page that way. But I love this because you can really go through your stash and pull a lot of different things together that maybe you usually wouldn't use together just because the colors are the same. So I have a couple paper pads that are pink heavy. I don't know if I'll really use them. I like this Bliss collection from My Mind's Eye because there's a lot of pinks, but it's more of a corally pink. So I don't know, like I think it'd be really cool if I use this as a background, but it's kind of an orangey tone. There are some pinks in here I could use, but I'm gonna have that to the side. I have this Die Cuts with a View blush Craft in Rose Gold. There's a lot of this kind of light pink color in here and then a lot of like rose gold. So I might pull in some sheets from that, but I really wanted to focus on like pulling multiple different collections and single sheets and scraps from my stash that are pink to kind of create this page. So I went through and I just pulled in a bunch of just random pink things from my stash. So this one's Heidi Swap's Pineapple Crush. I really liked the pink ombre. I think that could be a cool background to kind of introduce you to the all pink theme, especially because there's so many shades of pink in the background. And then I just have a bunch of scraps. Some of this is Pineapple Crush. I have no idea where this one's from, but it has pink hearts in it. I have vellum from Karen and vellum from Ronnie. So there's some more pink things. I'm hoping kind of between all of these I can get all my pink layers down, but I'm really excited because I kind of dove through my stash. I went through a lot of Happy Mail and I found a bunch of pink doilies, some die cut feathers. Some of these are from Jennifer, some of them are from Ronnie, some of them are from Moira. I have some cool tags that are pink. So I know there's a lot of different shades of pink here and I don't know if I'm gonna focus on one type of pink or just go all at it. Like, I have some pink labels here, lots of pink like enamel dots I could use. I have a couple rolls of pink washi. Dove through my stash. Here's it's in the Palm Beach packaging for some reason, but I have My Mind's Eye My Story die cut pack that has a lot of pinks I could use in layering. Here's some die cuts from Jennifer that have some pink stuff. And then like a lot of Valentine's themed things that have pink hearts. So I don't know how much of this I'm gonna use, but I just went through and found a bunch of pink things. I have this photo of Marcus and I from Valentine's Day, so I thought it would be a great chance to just do a monochromatic pink layout. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get a lot of really interesting layers together and a lot of things that I probably wouldn't normally put together, use together. So I am going to fast forward the video and get this process video done, but hopefully you can use this monochromatic prompt to get out of your mojo funk and create something. Okay, so I'm going to start with that Palm Beach paper. I really do like the idea of using that as my background just because it is a nice pink ombre and I just feel like that encompasses the idea of this page to just do a whole bunch of pink things. It's also like one of the only like single sheets from my stash that I pulled out that was whole. A lot of the other stuff, pretty much everything else, I think I'm going to try and get like a bunch of those scraps used up just because they've been in my stash for a while and I like the idea of just piling a bunch of stuff on this page that has been stuck in my stash for a really long time and just getting it all used up. I think it'll be really cool mixing and matching all of these different pinks. I am going to go to that one paper pad and pull out a light pink. I just wanted one solid pink to map my photo in before I really get going with all of these scraps. So I just pulled out one little sheet of the solid. It's funny because there's so much pink going on that light pink almost reads white. But you'll see that it's pink once I layer in. Like, I'm sure I'm going to use that scrap of the heart paper that's white, and so I think once that paper's on there, you'll be able to tell the difference between all the different pinks and a true white. But I'm just matting this photo in that solid. And then I love how these two vellums look overlapped. I really, really like that. That one scrap of vellum is plain, neutral, clear, colorless vellum, but layered on top of this darker pink, it reads as a light pink, and I think it looks so pretty together. So I'm going to do a layer with this normal vellum, and I'm going to layer the darker pink right behind it, and I love how that looks. And something I like to do when I really want to do a layery layout and add some texture is tear the edges of papers. So I'm really going to try and tear the edges of just the bottoms of a bunch of these layers. I think it adds a really cool kind of texture and keeps it interesting. So you can see a tearing layer number one right there. I think it's such a simple thing to do to add some interest to your page, especially when you have a lot of torn edges against each other. So here's the darker pink that I'm going to layer up. Again, just trimming that a little bit, and I'm going to tear the bottom of that one too, and you'll see how cool it looks when you kind of get these torn edges together. So it just takes me a minute to get my double-sided tape down. But I love just layering up a bunch of simple mats right away. Just get a bunch of different pinks on here, but because there's vellum and because I'm tearing it, it's still kind of interesting, even though it's a really simple thing to do. And now that I have those three mats on there, I'm going to start going in with a couple of these scraps. So I have this one scrap of a stripe from Pineapple Crush, so I decided just to layer it vertically behind those pieces, and again I'm going to end up tearing the bottom of that too. And I'm just gonna do the same thing with my other scraps. I'm just kind of alternating or staggering all of these different layers behind my photo. I just wanted to start out this design with getting a lot of these scraps used up and just piled on. So you can see here's that other scrap. And now that that white piece is on there, you can really see all the different pinks. I think having that one white really helps you kind of distinguish between all the actual pink colors. So I love that layer too, and it still pulls in some pink, but I think it's okay on monochromatics to pull in a neutral. So if you want to pull in a white or a black or whatever, I mean it's obviously your page, so there's no rules, but I think on a monochromatic layout you don't have to be super strict if you want a paper that has some white in it. But I tore the bottom of that one too, and I like this as my little base layer. Now I just want to go through my pile of Happy Mail and all my different pink elements and just pile some things on. I thought it'd be cool having a doily coming out from the side to kind of start branching out a little bit, but I couldn't really decide which one. And then I thought it might look cool if I had two different shades of pink doily in two different sizes. So I'm kind of going through them all, and I decided to go for this bigger light pink one and then layer up the darker pink on top of it and just kind of have two of them coming out of the side. I think that adds some interest and some texture. And I just love having two shades of doilies overlapping. I just love all the... So I'm just going to get that together. There's also, I love this little die cut feather I thought was really cool, so I decided to layer that up there too. And then this little Dear Lizzie little title piece that's pink that says So In Love. I really wanted to get on here because that's been in my stash for a really long time too. And because it is a Valentine's themed and it's all pink, I figured this is the best time to get it used up. So I really just kind of piled all this stuff on the side here. I didn't think too much about it, but I like how it's looking, so I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing things down. That's another thing when you're kind of stuck with your Mojo, and I know it's easier said than done, but kind of just sticking things on the page and trying not to think too much about it. helps because you're just getting things done. And you're making progress. At some point you have to do something because once you start gluing things down, even if you're not, too sure how or what the plan is, just doing something will help get the ball rolling. So I'm trying not to think too much about any of this. Again, with all the different textures and layers, thought it would be nice to maybe have a strip of washi down the side, so I just went ahead and added that. There's this weird kind of gap at the bottom with the way the layers ended up once I did that washi though, so I decided just to add this little tag in the gap there, and I'm just not thinking too much about it. But I like how things are starting to come together. I'm going to go ahead and glue them down and just keep going. I really am not thinking too much about this page. I'm just grabbing more pink stuff and piling it on. So getting that part glued down. I do want something kind of horizontal coming out from these doilies. I kind of want to branch out a little bit. And I have all those tags on the side, so I'm thinking that bigger tag I'll lay horizontally coming out from my photo. I like usually branching out horizontally when I have a design like this. So there's that tag that's going to go on the side. I have another tag off screen that has some white and pink twine through it. I'm pretty sure that was my little thank you tag that Christina sent me when I ordered a Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit from her, and I always keep those tags so I can use this twine and everything on another page. So I'm just stealing the white and pink twine off of that because again I saw it was pink and so I'm just going to thread the pink tag with the pink twine and get that glued down there. And I'm still trying to think what I have off screen to kind of embellish with. I have a lot of layers and a lot of texture going on, but I do want to start thinking about what I'm going to want to do for embellishments. So I do have those labels I definitely want to use. I love the layery look that labels add, so I'm going to pull in a couple pink ones here in a minute. I think it'd be nice to have something for this Sew in Love to sit on other than just floating in the middle of the doily. So I think one of those pink labels will look good underneath there to kind of be a place for my title to sit, if that makes sense. So I'm going to tuck that up under there. Just adding more pink stuff. And usually when I do labels, I like to do them in a visual triangle. But for some reason on this one, I just wanted two. So I have the one under the title, and then I'm adding one up at the top there. I think because I had that that striped tag at the bottom already, that kind of was already a special element, so I didn't really want to add a label down there as well. But now I'm trying to go through all my ephemera and see kind of finishing touch-wise what I want to start looking at. There's a lot of hearts that I pulled, and I really don't want to mix and match all the hearts, so I'm trying to just pick one. And I love these little, I think they're crepe paper, I can't remember which collection. I think they were Cute Girl, but I could be wrong, of these little sweetheart rubber embellishments. And there's two left, and I figured, I have two labels, so I'll just have one of these hearts in both of those areas. But it takes me a minute to kind of figure out that that's where I want them. I just know I want them on opposite sides of the photo to kind of frame my photo. But this is where I think they end up going. I like that one at the top, and then I like having one over by my title. So I think those look really cute, and I love the dimension that those add too, because that's a different kind of texture. I love rubber embellishments, and I don't use them that often. But those, again, have been in my stash for a while, so I was really happy I got them used up. I went through my die cut pack to see if there's anything I wanted to layer up, but I was pretty happy with my layering areas. It's more just the finishing touches I needed. So I do go through all these die cuts, but I end up just deciding to go for my enamel dots and finding some pink enamel dots to pair with these little rubber embellishments. I didn't know if I wanted dots or hearts. I was thinking I could find some pink enamel hearts, but once I go through all of the kind of enamel stash I had a Heidi swap pack of just a bunch of different pinks that were different shapes, And because this is a monochromatic pink, I really thought it would be fun to pull in those. And when you see them, I'm going through them now, but when you see the Heidi Swap pack, there's a lot of different shapes on there, and instead of going for the hearts, I actually decided to go for the diamonds, because sprinkled next to these hearts just made it seem like sparkly. I don't know, I just loved the way the diamonds actually looked, and that's not a shape I usually go for. But I think they end up looking really nice, especially because there's 3 different types of pink on there. So it just kind of adds to the monochromatic design that there's just all these different shades of pink. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the rubber embellishments. I'm using my Tombow Mono multi-glue because that stuff is strong. I've had issues with rubber embellishments not sticking, so I definitely want to make sure I use a strong glue for that. And now I'm just trying to place those diamonds. It was a little fiddly, but I got them down, and I'm just doing one of each shade and kind of trying to scatter them so they look like sparkles coming off of that heart. And I think that's really cute. And because I'm doing them with where both of the rubber hearts are, there's just these 2 areas of embellishment. And I really did want to create some kind of visual triangle. So I'm kind of thinking I want something in the lower right hand corner of the photo. But I really don't want to detract from what I'm already doing. I only had 2 of these rubber hearts, so I really like how these 2 embellishment clusters look. But I just wanted something to balance it out and create a visual triangle. So I did something I haven't done in a while, but I have so much fun doing. I wish I could do this on like every single page, and I never really think about it. But I decided to do a wax seal in the lower right hand corner of my photo. So I start shaking my pink Heidi Swap Color Shine because I definitely want some pink sparkles across the page, especially because the background is more of a simple background. So and all of these pinks are like solids. There's a lot of solid pink on top of each other, not a lot of patterns. So I feel like the Heidi Swap Color Shine sprinkle will really help. But as I was shaking, I was kind of trying to think what I need for that 3rd area, and I just thought it would be really cool to do a wax seal. I sent out my wedding. I mean, by the time this goes up, it'll be after the wedding. But I bought this wax seal set for my wedding invitations, and now that all of those are sent out, I can pretty much use the rest of what I had left over in the kit for scrapbooking. And so I decided just to mix a couple pinks together. So there's kind of a darker pink, and then there's kind of a lighter pink that's more sparkly. So I'm going to mix them together in my little pot here so that when I pour this seal, it's this really cool marbly looking multi-pink seal. So I am really excited about that. I love doing this wax seal set, and I kind of just want to do a wax seal on every page for forever. But particularly like on this one being monochromatic and just being able to add multiple pinks, I think it adds a lot of dimension, and it's just another cool kind of texture. And I think it looks really nice as my 3rd element because it kind of gives you the same dimension as those rubber embellishments, but yet it's something different. But I think it just completes that visual triangle really nicely. So while my wax is melting, I went ahead and did my splatter with my Heidi Swap Pink Color Shine, and I think that looks really nice. I love the shimmer that kind of adds and breaks up the kind of more plain background. And then here I go dumping my little wax pot. And I'm just going to do my seal, but I saw someone else, I think it was on TikTok or something, who does wax seals on a lot of her projects. She's like a junk journaler that I like to watch. And she uses the residual wax to do these little extra dots, and I think they look so cute. So I went ahead and did that as well. So I like the little extra dots around the seal. And so while the wax is kind of cooling, I'm going to clean up here. I just used the seal that came with this kit, which is just a tree, but I think it's so cute, and I'm so happy with how that turned out. So this is pretty much the page. It turned out pretty simple, but I had so much fun with it, and I'm so happy I got so much old stash used up. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out Leah's video and stay tuned for next Wednesday for the next prompt, but hopefully this will help you find your mojo. Thanks for watching. Bye.